Welcome back to this week's episode of the Broken Kid Well, no, that's not how we should start this episode, because honestly, it doesn't matter how we start it. This is a pretty off-topic, offbeat, introduction, because I'm going to be talking about... If anybody has ever had a vulnerable moment, they know that there's nothing more vulnerable than being in the shower listening to, Lady... I hate to say this, I wasn't even listening to music when this happened, but I was in the shower and I felt... If you've ever fallen in the shower by yourself... You know when you fall out in public, if anyone has ever fallen in public, well, it's like that, but worse, because you have the same instincts where you want to get up, and you want to get up so that nobody can see you, but I don't know if in my past life I must have been a prisoner, or I must have been in some, a felon, because as soon as I fell, I got back up, and I was like, you're bathing you're in a shower by yourself, you're not in a shower with a bunch of other prisoners. So I don't know why I got up, I thought I was gonna get I dropped the soap, there was gonna be, I wasn't showering around a whole bunch of repeat sex offenders, but I think most people who you take showers in jail are repeat sex offenders because they can get away with it. But in that moment, I got up and I was like, I was like a weak one. I was like, oh shit, and it's a good thing that I'm young, because I don't have to worry about breaking bones as much as easily. But no, I remember that stuff is great. I got up, I fell down, I got up right away. So, and that's the most embarrassing moment, and nobody knows about it except me, from what I know. And no, that was just one of the most embarrassing moments I've had of my life, where I was just showering, and I lost my balance because the tub is like this, and I stepped on the curved part. And I felt, I slipped, and it was like that scene from the original, one of the old Superman shows, where he falls. And, the whole curtain falls on him and everything. And, thank God for me, it didn't fall like that. The whole curtain didn't fall on me like it was like a fishnet, But, no, it was definitely not my proudest moment, and nobody knows about. Well, now I'm sharing it with everyone. But this is going to be the video that gets viral. But no, it was definitely crazy, and it was embarrassing, and I almost fell the other day too. I don't know what it is. Oh, man, if I ever buy a house, it's got to be one of those open those open step-in ones where you don't have to worry about falling. But this one is definitely hard to navigate it. When you fall, it's hard. You get up and you're like, and then it hurts for a few days, and everything hurts. And I'm surprised I could have died. But the whole thing was embarrassing, and the closest thing I could I can't attach it to anything. Well, maybe the closest thing I could tie it to is when I asked somebody for a hat. This hat, I asked for a hat at In-N-Out, and to the manager, and I got rejected. He said, no, you have to buy them online. And he thought I was talking about the baseball caps that they sell at the In-N-Out store, the online In-N-Out store. But really, I was talking about about this one that you can only get there if you work there. And I got this in an undisclosed location. But that's probably the closest thing that I could attribute it to. But no, it was kind of an embarrassing moment. It was a very embarrassing moment. I don't know how many times I'm going to say embarrassed, but I'm going to go on forever and ever and ever and ever saying that it was embarrassing. And, it's going to be something that I'm going to keep to myself, or I thought I would have, but now I'm looking at it for content creation. And I'm talking about it in a very slow motion and very slow pace, because the whole thing is just awkward, and I'm thinking about it. And now I'm thinking about how I'm talking about it to a camera alone in a room. And yeah. Okay, now after several times thinking about it, there's nothing more to say about my falling in the shower incident. My only piece of advice, if you fall in the shower, don't do what I did. Don't get up right away, because it's stupid. You don't have to get up right away. You're not in public, and you're also not in a jail. You're not in a jail shower jail. You're not in a shower that is in a jail. But if it was, I understand why you get up quick. And that was I was like, oh no, the whole you never feel so useless and helpless than when you fall alone in a shower, because especially when you're young. If you're 60, you wouldn't blame yourself. if you're 24 or 20 or 28 and you fall, or even 18 or 15, and you fall in the shower, you feel like a complete idiot because you're completely young and you should be able to handle yourself in the shower when that came out wrong. But you should be able to stand up quite well, but nobody estimates those slippery edges. But that being said, that is going to be the end of it for this week's mini episode of the Broken Kid podcast. Stay on your feet, literally and also metaphorically. Don't let things knock you down. Don't fall in the shower for sure. And I'll see you next time.